In the jazz lounge, Clare arrives with the cake, and Nikki tells her this is all incredible. Victor makes a speech about his wife, saying she has given him the world. Holding her in his arms, Victor tells her she's his purest joy and has his love and loyalty forever. As they kiss, everyone applauds. Nick and Victoria step up, tease their parents, and talk about their mother being glamorous, loving, and protective. They want her to know how much they love her and how much she means to them. Everyone in the room is fortunate to have Nikki in their lives, but they are the luckiest of all. Choking up, Nikki walks to the center of the room and hugs Victoria. She explains that she had a rough start, but her world was forever changed when she met the love of her life. She was blessed with amazing children who now have children of their own. She's surrounded by incredible friends who have supported her and saved her time and time again. She is always grateful. Looking at Esther, she says one person is sadly missing. She was the gutsiest and funniest woman to walk the earth, and she wishes she were there. They raise a glass to Catherine, and Nikki vows to live until she dies and cherish every moment. Victoria spots Cole at the entrance and rushes over to him. He explains he was delayed because he was dealing with remnants from his flu. Abby tells her father that his speech was great. Victor asks Steven why Lily is absent. Answering for her husband, Abby says inviting her was kind and she hopes, in time, things will be less tense. Nikki is sure Neil would hope so too and walks off to mingle. Devin tells Victor that his sister has the right to feel slighted, but the mustache thinks she should see that he did her a favor by sending her back to Winters. Nikki walks over to Clare and Kyle to thank them for their hard work. Clare gives party planner Pietro all the credit. When Nikki shakes his hand, he nods and gasps before blurting out how much he loves her and running away. Kyle can't blame the guy for being in awe. They assure her everything is set for Operation Victor. The man himself joins them and asks what they are talking about. Kyle looks shifty. Nick and Sharon notice Adam coming in late with Chelsea, and the brothers immediately begin talking about Nikki's new car. Chelsea loves the color and says the same model inspired her when she started designing. Nick and Sharon move along to chat with Ashley and Abby. Sharon asks about Tracy and suggests that she and the abbot sit down together to talk it out. Ashley says that her sister needs to take things at her own pace and walks off. Ashley downs some more champagne and admits hearing Sharon talk about Martin was awful. She's starting to worry that the progress she's made in therapy is coming undone. Abby thinks she should have known she wasn't okay. Her mom couldn't admit that her sense of well-being was so fragile, but assures her daughter she's taking all the necessary steps to handle it. Ashley promises she is being responsible and proactive. Devin runs into Sharon and Nick at the bar, and they chat about all the work at New Hope they've been doing. Sharon leaves to chat with Nikki, and the men joke about the blonde being alone with his mom. Devin asks if he's more than Sharon's escort tonight. Smirking Nick shakes his head. Devin is impressed by how close he manages to stay to his exes. Nick explains you have to put the harsh feelings aside when you share kids. Jokingly, Devin asks if he has to use a calendar to split up time between I'm gonna get my kid sister to come get you before there's a problem. Nick jokes back. Victoria and Cole bump into Adam and Chelsea. Adam jokes about Cole moving to the ranch and being surrounded by the family. Chelsea says there are perks, and it has been wonderful. They recall when Cole lived at the ranch. He coughs, and Adam says he's looking a little rough. Cole claims he's on the upswing. Michael and Lauren watch Victor, and he remarks on the awkwardness of all this. She's sure he wants to talk to his ex-boss. When Michael sees Nikki and her husband alone at the bar, he rushes over to congratulate the birthday girl. Nikki walks off to talk to Lauren. Victor says she shouldn't have left them alone. When Michael says he hopes they can work things out, Victor tells him not to count on it. The lawyer brings up the mysterious invitations from Dumas. Victor promptly reminds him that he no longer works for. Across the room, Jack and Diane tell Nikki that she is glowing. They give credit for the night's events to Clare, and Diane says she's very much a Newman woman. Nikki brings up the mysterious surprise Kyle and Clare have planned to win Victor over. Jack hopes it doesn't blow up in their faces. Victor joins them, and Jack brings up the invitation to visit Dumas at his chateau. Nikki says they received the same invitation. Victor assumes it must be some business strategy related to Newman. Jack points out that Dumas has been in touch with Billy, and this must be about Abbott communications. This doesn't seem to impress Victor. Diane says it could also be about something else entirely. Clare tries calling for everyone's attention as Lauren tells Michael that she's proud of how he is handling this. She's sure that losing his father figure has cut deep, but begs. Across the floor, Jack tells Diane that she's the most beautiful woman he's ever held in his arms. He only has eyes for her. Meanwhile, Adam asks Chelsea if she's getting ideas for her birthday and suggests they do go-kart racing. She'd rather have a Ferrari. As everyone dances, Pietro sneaks over to Clare and Kyle to announce that things are ready and waiting for their approval. As they rush off, Cole and Victoria hope their daughter's plan works. Nick and Sharon also discuss how much they hope that things will work out for Clare. She knows it is a rite of passage in the family. A Newman has to fight for independence. How does that work out for everyone? He asks. Sharon is sure that Clare will find the life she wants. Nikki thanks Victor for the beautiful evening, and they compare Sharon and Nick to Kyle and Clare. She feels Sharon has shown she doesn't deserve Nick. Victor is confident Kyle doesn't deserve Clare either. The lights suddenly dim, and the golden cake is wheeled out to Nikki. The guests count down, and she blows out the candles. After the claps die down, Kyle steps up to make a toast. He explains that he has known Nikki his entire life. She is beautiful, brilliant, and overwhelming. Her husband is a chess master and knows that the queen is the piece on the board with the most raw power. That's who Nikki is. Kyle goes on to say Nikki is loving, forceful, creative, and tough. Nikki's impact on the world has been lasting, and her family will continue to spread her unique form of love and caring. In honor of that ever-expanding circle, he hands her a gift. It's a charm bracelet with the names of all her grandchildren and great-grandchildren engraved on it. After she reads through all the names, she thanks him. "Love live the Queen," he toasts. Everyone raises their glasses to toast her. As Kyle hugs her, he looks over to Victor, who looks at society. Damien and Lily sit on the sofa by the window, and he asks her if she's regretting not attending the big Newman party. She complains they lack decency. She still isn't accepting they're manipulating her and pretending to be her friend. He can see she knows how to hold a grudge. Nate and Audra arrive and notes that the two of them seem to be spending a lot of time together. Is it business or pleasure? Damien teases that no one told him that having a brother means that everyone is already in his business. He sees that Dumas is calling him and walks off to take it. Nate and Audra tell Lily they are happy she seems to be getting past her suspicions of his brother. When Damien returns, he announces he's been fired by Dumas' assistant without explanation. Lily jumps to the assumption that Dumas must know he was planning to be a spy. Damien has doubts, but it doesn't matter since he was planning to leave his boss anyway. Lily worries that Amanda has been lying to them, and her boss actually is coming after Winters. Nate nods. Damien says that if Dumas does plan to go after Winters, he will have to go through him first. Audra is sure Damien must be angry about being cut loose. Damien doesn't see the point. Besides, now he doesn't have to think about disentangling himself from the company or going to France. Lily tells Nate about the invitation to Dumas' chateau. She's determined to go and get answers to all of their questions. This worries Nate, but Lily assures him it's fine. After a pensive moment, Damien explains that Holden is now out of a job too. He's been ordered to fire him, so it's up to him to get him a new gig. Immediately, he asks if Audra is hiring. She tries to control her cringe. Nikki's gala continues this week on The Young and the Restless, which means that party planner extraordinaire Pietro, played by Jai Rodriguez, will be popping up to make sure that the festive event runs off without a hitch. Soap Central spoke to the former Queer Eye for the Straight Guy host to get the scoop on his creative character. I never thought in a million years that the sets that I'd someday get to play in the sets I looked at on TV when I was a kid. Rodriguez told Soap Central during a viewing party for his first episode at Juheim Sports Bar in West Hollywood. Just as Pietro is finding all of Nikki's guests to be friendly, so has Rodriguez when it comes to his co-stars. He fully understands that some stars have a lot on their minds, even though they make the acting process look easy. I stay back, he says. They might have a million things on their plate and more lines to memorize. Here, everyone is welcoming in a way that's not the norm on primetime series. Rodriguez not only got to meet a lot of the Y and R cast during his stint on the show, but he also witnessed actors catching up with one another, as there hasn't been a big party scene on the program in a while. It was like being at a family reunion, he says. They were all catching up on their lives, and they included me, which was very sweet. Rodriguez also enjoyed meeting fellow Bravo star Eileen Davidson, who appeared on the reality series The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's an icon, a legend, a star, Rodriguez raves. I grew up watching her on Days of Our Lives, where she played Kristen Susan et al. I was a little intimidated because big galas like Nikki's shindig may not be the norm on soaps, but does Rodriguez hope to appear on the show again? I hope so, the actor responds, pondering, how did Clare, played by Haley Aaron, meet him? Was he friends with anyone else? Pietro's a party planner, but are there other skills up his Queer Eye sleeve? Is there another way he could come back? There is language coming up that might suggest there's room for that, Rodriguez teases, but in what capacity, I couldn't even guess. Rodriguez says that the show's designer, Mandy Line, put together an outfit that helped him embody Pietro. She's great, he raves. She created this bolero scarf thing. Boy, does she have her eye on style. Mandy is an icon, and I hope she wins an Emmy for Best Costumes. In recent episodes of the daytime soap opera, The Young and the Restless, the soap, set in the fictional city of Genoa, revolves around the most powerful and affluent families, like the Newmans and the Abbotts. In the recent episode of The Young and the Restless, aired on May 30, 2025, everyone celebrated Nikki's birthday at the Jazz Lounge. The party was organized and designed by Pietro, who promised an unforgettable evening. A fan by the name of Diane Diffendale Porcello started a discussion post on Facebook on May 31, 2025, writing about the outfits of the characters at the party. Many fans of The Young and the Restless took an interest in the post and commented on their view on the other characters' outfits. While some remarked about Nikki's hairstyles, others commented on Sharon's coat. Meanwhile, a fan of The Young and the Restless wrote how elegant Diane looked, while other fans commented that the show needed a new and better style. Nikki's birthday bash on The Young and the Restless was filled with glitz and glamour, where Victor surprised her with her dream car, making it a truly unforgettable night for Nikki. Victor gifted her a red Ferrari, which she had wanted since high school. Michael and Lauren also attended the party, though the former was hesitant at first. He recently had an argument with Victor, who informed him that he was cutting ties with him personally and professionally. However, Lauren persuaded him, reminding him how much it would mean to Nikki to have them there on her special day. Reluctantly, Michael agreed, and the couple arrived, carrying a mix of grace and underlying tension with them. Elsewhere, The Abbotts also made an appearance at the bash, and Kyle quickly went to find his girlfriend Clare. He ran into Victoria, Clare's mother, who expressed her concerns about their relationship, especially Victor's disapproval. When Kyle expressed that he was looking forward to winning over Victor's approval, Nikki reassured him that she, along with Cole, were rooting for Clare's happiness, which delighted him. Meanwhile, many family members, including the younger Newmans and Abbotts and family friends, were not seen at the party. Fans commented on the missing people. Kyle and Victor won't know what hit them. Clare can't stop talking about her brilliant plan to make Victor fall in love with Kyle and approve his relationship with Clare. Kyle keeps confirming what a wonderful plan it is, and will admit that bracelet he gave Nikki with the names of all of her grandchildren, step-grandchildren, and great-grandson was very sweet. But seriously, folks, Victor Newman isn't going to be swayed by a bauble, no matter how thoughtful. Surely Clare has something more in mind, and after the June 2 episode of The Young and the Restless, we think we know what it is. There can be only one reason why Clare chose to wear that hideous dress, with the even more hideous bright red, whatever it was, across her chest. It was obviously to keep people asking, what is that thing supposed to be? Rather than, what is Clare up to? This is all part of her plan. You know what else is part of her plan? Keeping Kyle is the dark. Kyle really thinks that his syrupy speech to Nikki about how wonderful she is, followed by the gift of jewelry, is going to make Victor's heart grow 3 sizes, for no less than Kyle. Clare is going ahead and letting Kyle think that, because he's a sweet, innocent, rich, spoiled, stupid boy who assumes all of his ideas are winners. How could he have gotten all of those positions in big, successful companies if it weren't on his own brilliant? But Clare didn't grow up rich and spoiled. Clare grew up tortured and tormented by her Aunt Jordan. Now Jordan, there was a woman who knew how to get things done. Clare may have hated her, but when her life grows dire, Clare also knows where to turn for inspiration. Kyle can go on thinking he is winning Nikki, and Victor, by proxy, over with his charm. But while he's patting himself on the back, what if Clare invites Victor to a private room and springs an undead Jordan on him? Victor has 2 choices here. He can accept Kyle, and Jordan will go back into hiding. Or he can continue being the jerk to his granddaughter's boyfriend, and Jordan will resurface to charge Victor with kidnapping and keep tormenting his family, especially precious Nikki. Victor is famous for doing anything to protect his family, so this should be a pretty easy choice for him, right? On The Young and the Restless today, Damien got some shocking news and followed it up with an awkward request. Damien Kane had his plans taken out of his control on Monday's episode of The Young and the Restless. Although Damien had planned to tell his boss that he was going to leave his employment to work with his new family's company, he hadn't told Aristotle Dumas yet. However, the point became moot. Damien had met with Lily, Audra, and his half-brother, Nate, at Society instead of going to the biggest party in town at the jazz club. While they were chatting about Lily and Damien's invitations to Aristotle's party in France, the Count of Genoa City himself called Damien on his cell phone, so he walked away to take the call. When Damien returned to the table, he was shocked. Aristotle's assistant told him that he was fired, and Damien didn't know what prompted the seemingly sudden decision. Had he taken too long to return to Le? Lily wondered if Dumas had caught on to the fact that Damien was planning on quitting to come work at Winters. Damien didn't have any answers, but was upset that his plan was to promote Holden as his replacement, and now he would have to fire him instead. Damien's first concern was Holden. He immediately asked Audra if she had a space at her new company to hire his friend. Given the delivery of the request, it would appear that Damien is not aware that Holden and Audra have a romantic past. But that seems odd then that it would be his go-to though to ask Audra to hire his friend, at a startup company that only currently has a name. She has no products, no office, nothing of substance, but wanted to secure Holden a position. Wouldn't it have been better to ask if a large company like Winters? Fans have long wondered if Damien, Holden, and Amy are playing Nate in his family. The plan had been for Damien to join Winters and tell Dumas that he was going to be an inside plant, but when he tried, Dumas supposedly shot it down, saying he wasn't after Winters and there was no need to spy. But could Damien just be lessening the attention on him by distancing himself from Dumas? If Aristotle wanted Damien fired, why did he invite him to the party in Nice on the 13th? As for Holden working with Audra, he has already been a thorn in her side and tried to make Nate feel like he thought he was competition. Nate won't take kindly to Holden working with Audra, but little does he know she's already lying about Holden, Kyle, and Victor as well. Looks like bumpy times ahead for Nate, no matter what Audra decides. For the Tuesday, June 3 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos show Nikki's party continues bringing everyone together. The Abbotts are in full swing at Nikki's birthday bash. Jack and Diane join Ashley in congratulating Nikki. Then they'll get to mixing and mingling with all their favorite people. They'll make their rounds through the room checking in with Abdi and Devon before Jack takes off for a shady-looking talk with Adam, and Diane shares a moment with Esther. We have to wonder if Nick and Sharon are flirting in some of these pics. She seems to be batting her lashes at him quite a bit, but doesn't she always? It's their vibe. Let's hope he's not in a flirty mood when she catches Chelsea alone too. Meanwhile, Victoria and Cole steal a few minutes all to themselves. The thing on Victoria's mind is Cole's health. He has not been great these past few weeks, and she's sure something is up. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that fans know how relentless Phyllis Summers can be when she gets an idea in her head. The latest scheme she's concocting is a meeting with Aristotle Dumas to convince the billionaire mogul to take over Chancellor and allow her to run it. She just needs a meeting with him to convince him, which is something he doesn't do. Phyllis tried to convince her bestie, Amanda Sinclair, to help her score some FaceTime with her mysterious boss. She was hesitant at first, but eventually changed her mind. Who else smells a setup? I and our viewers know how important it is for Dumas to remain anonymous. As his lawyer, Amanda knows this too. Not only for business reasons, but there might be other factors as to why he doesn't want to be in the public eye. Plus, it adds to his persona, right? While Amanda loves Phyllis, why would she sacrifice her job, which she likely gets paid very well for, to help Red with this? Ambushing her boss would be a bad idea that could get her fired. It's hard to believe that Amanda loves the idea of running Chancellor with Phyllis. After all, if she did, why not pitch the idea on her own to Dumas, who she seems to have a great rapport with? Is Dumas in on this? Amanda may have brought him into the loop about Phyllis, who is a good friend, but stubborn when it comes to her ideas. With that said, will Amanda give Phyllis a time and place where Dumas is, only for Red to hit another dead end? Is this all a setup to get Phyllis to stop bothering Amanda about a meeting with Dumas? The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the next 2 weeks. From June 2 to 13, expect there to be Aristotle Dumas' mysterious party. Sally Spectra and Phyllis Summers get into a fight. Plus, Victoria Newman ends up learning heartbreaking news. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. During the week of June 2, Damien Kane will try to help out Holden Novak. Now that Damien has been fired by Dumas, that also means Holden will be out of a job. Damien feels terrible about that, so he tries to pitch Holden for a job at Audra Charles' new company. However, she passes on the opportunity. At Nikki Newman's birthday party, Kyle Abbott tries to wow Clare Grace Newman's grandparents. Clare was sure that this scheme would earn them Victor's approval. However, it seems that Kyle fizzles when it comes to impressing the patriarch. Over with Victoria, Victoria mentioned that Cole has been isolating, although he's no longer contagious. Perhaps that's because Cole knows a bit more than everyone else about his condition. After hearing terrible news, Victoria opens up to Nikki the next day. Clare is a grown woman and should hear about her father's condition. However, it is possible that Cole might ask Victoria to keep his diagnosis a secret for now. Phyllis has some kind of proposition for Nick Newman. If Amanda Sinclair won't accompany her on the trip, then Phyllis might ask Nick to go. There will also be issues between Phyllis and Sally. In fact, Billy Abbott will struggle to keep things civil between the two redheads. Also, Chelsea Lawson gives an ultimatum to Adam Newman. There will also be Maria Copeland, who continues to get quizzed by a well-meaning Tessa Porter. During the week of June 9, fans can expect Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti to return. The day their stint ends is the same day as Dumas' mysterious party in France. There is bound to be some bombshells and twists, so stay tuned. A lavish celebration for Nikki turned into a night of secrets, surprises, and simmering tensions as Y and R set the stage for some major moves. On The Young and the Restless for Monday, June 2, Nikki's birthday celebration takes center stage. While Kyle plots to impress Victor and Clare keeps the party running smoothly, Lily and Damien receive surprising invitations that deepen the mystery of Dumas's true intentions. Meanwhile, Cole's illness progresses, Michael and Lauren reflect on the strain with Victor, and Abby checks on Ashley's fragile emotional state. Finally, Audra gets a surprising pitch as Damien reveals he was fired. Nikki's birthday bash took center stage, with family, friends, and even adversaries gathering at the Jazz Lounge to honor the resilient Newman matriarch. Victor led the toasts, praising Nikki's strength, beauty, and devotion. He called her his purest joy and promised his love for eternity. Nick and Victoria joined in, toasting their mother and sharing their deep gratitude for her presence in their lives. Nikki, touched by the outpouring of love, shared heartfelt memories, including a tearful nod to her dear friend Catherine, and vowed to live life to its fullest. As the applause faded, Cole arrived late, apologizing for his absence and brushing off his persistent cough. Nearby, Chelsea and Adam mingled with Nick and Sharon, discussing Nikki's extravagant new car, a Ferrari. Meanwhile, Victor questioned Abby and Devin about Michael and Lauren, both present but feeling the awkwardness of Victor's looming shadow, shared a dance, and reflected on the tension between the old allies. Michael confided his doubts about ever making amends with Victor. Elsewhere, Clare played hostess, coordinating with Pietro to finalize the night's surprises while Kyle hovered nearby. As the party progressed, Sharon asked Ashley about Tracy's well-being following her ordeal with Martin, while Abby expressed pride in her mother for facing her trauma. Lauren and Nikki exchanged congratulations, but Victor's frostiness toward Michael lingered. Devin caught up with Sharon and Nick at the bar. Cole's persistent cough didn't go unnoticed as he chatted with Victoria and Adam about life at the ranch. Jack and Diane joined them, speculating about mysterious invitations from Dumas and the potential Abbott involvement. Clare and Kyle shared a moment to reflect on their hopes of impressing Victor, only to be interrupted by the arrival of the birthday cake. Nikki, surrounded by loved ones, made a wish and blew out the candles. Kyle delivered a touching toast, presenting Nikki with a charm bracelet adorned with the names of her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Victor's gaze lingered on the scene, his expression unreadable. At society, Lily and Damien shared a quieter moment, away from the party. Damien handed her an invitation from Dumas to an exclusive party in the south of France. The gesture raised questions, especially after he revealed he'd been fired by Dumas. Lily's suspicions about Dumas and Amanda's intentions later froze when Damien casually suggested she hire his friend Holden, hinting at deeper entanglements. Clare rallied guests to the dance floor, while Pietro put the finishing touches on the surprise. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, June 3, see Michael and Lauren dance around their problems, while Victor doesn't buy what Kyle's selling and Victoria worries about Cole. It's going to be a day full of drama, and you won't want to miss one single moment of the action in Genoa City. Michael fulfilled his promise to Lauren, and he quit Victor. Of course, Lauren is still worried about how it will all play out, and Michael is struggling with the loss of a man who was his mentor. It seems that Lauren and Michael are still having problems, though. Instead of fully facing them, the long-term couple dances around them. That's now how they've managed to stay together this long, so surely they will come to their senses soon. Meanwhile, Victor calls Kyle's bluff. Clare thought that her big party for Nikki would somehow win her grandfather over to her side when it came to Kyle. Of course, Kyle didn't think it would work, but he went along with her anyway and gave it a good try. Now, it truly hasn't worked, and Victor lets Kyle know that he knows. Will Kyle keep up a good front, or will he end up falling for Victor's games? Finally, Cole hasn't been healthy lately. He's been very sick, and it seemed like it was more than a cold for sure.